I still remember the exact moment everything shifted, like the air itself had changed around me, like the world had quietly paused just long enough for me to hear something I was never supposed to hear. I was leaning over her car engine, hands covered in grease, trying to figure out why it wouldn't start, when she stepped closer behind me and whispered, so softly I almost thought I imagined it, "I wish you were mine." My heart stopped. I didn't turn around right away. I didn't even breathe. Because the truth is, I had been wishing the exact same thing for months, but there was one problem. She wasn't mine. She belonged to someone else, and not just anyone. She was engaged. So tell me, honestly, what would you have done in my place? Would you have said something? Or would you have stayed silent and walked away like nothing ever happened? It all started about a year before that moment, back when everything still felt simple, or at least I thought it was. I had just moved into a new neighborhood, trying to start over after a messy breakup that left me questioning everything about myself. I wasn't looking for anything serious, not even friendship if I'm being honest. I just wanted peace, a quiet routine, work, home, repeat. But life doesn't really care about what you plan, does it? Because just 2 weeks after moving in, I met her. Her name was Aisha. She lived 2 houses down, in a small but cozy place with a front porch covered in plants and wind chimes that sang every time the breeze passed through. The first time I saw her, she was struggling to carry grocery bags while trying to unlock her door, and one of the bags ripped, sending oranges rolling across the driveway. I still remember how she laughed instead of getting frustrated. That was the first thing I noticed about her. She didn't let small things ruin her mood. I helped her pick everything up, and she thanked me with a smile that felt different, not forced, not polite, just real. We talked for a few minutes that day. Nothing deep, just names, small jokes, basic neighbor stuff. But something about her stayed with me. Over the next few weeks, we kept running into each other. Sometimes it was in the morning when I was leaving for work, sometimes in the evening when she was watering her plants. Those quick conversations turned into longer ones, then into shared coffee on her porch, then into late-night talks about life, dreams, regrets, the kind of conversations that make you feel seen. That's when I found out about him. Her fiancé, his name was Bilal. He worked in another city and only came back once or twice a month. At first, I didn't think much of it. People have long-distance relationships all the time. But as days turned into weeks, I started noticing things. The way her smile would fade whenever his name came up. The way she would pause before answering when I asked about him, like she was choosing her words carefully. And the biggest thing, the silence. There were days she wouldn't hear from him at all, and I could see how much it bothered her, even when she tried to hide it. I told myself to stay out of it. She was engaged. That was the line. But emotions don't follow rules, do they? Somewhere along the way, I stopped seeing her as just a neighbor. She became the person I looked forward to seeing every day. The person whose laugh could fix my worst mood. The person I started caring about more than I wanted to admit. And then came the night everything became real. It was raining heavily, one of those storms that make the whole world feel isolated. The power had gone out in the neighborhood, and I was sitting in the dark when I heard a knock on my door. It was her. She looked scared, holding her phone flashlight like it was the only thing keeping her grounded. She said she didn't like being alone during storms. I invited her in. We sat there listening to the rain, talking about random things at first, but eventually the conversation shifted. She opened up about her relationship, about how things weren't the same anymore, how she felt like she was holding on to something that was already slipping away. I didn't say much. I just listened. Because deep down, I knew I wasn't just being a friend anymore. I was already too far in. After that night, things between us changed. Not in a way that anyone else would notice, but I could feel it. There was a tension, an unspoken understanding. We started spending more time together, going on walks, watching movies, cooking dinner. It felt like we were already something more, even though neither of us said it out loud. And then came that day. The car. She had called me in the afternoon, saying it wouldn't start and she didn't know what to do. I went over right away. I remember the sun was setting, casting this warm orange glow over everything. I was focused on the engine, trying to figure out the problem, when she walked closer. I could feel her presence before I even saw her. And then, that whisper, "I wish you were mine." Time froze. I didn't know what to do. Part of me wanted to turn around, look her in the eyes, and tell her everything I had been holding back. But another part of me knew the reality. She wasn't free. There was someone else, a commitment, a future that didn't include me. But instead of walking away, I said it. I wish that too. The moment those words left my mouth, I knew there was no going back. So that's the situation I was in. Standing there, caught between what I felt and what I knew was right. Before I tell you what happened next, I want you to think about it. Really think. If you were in my place, would you have said the same thing? Or would you have stopped yourself before crossing that line? Let me know, because I still don't know if I made the right choice. After that moment, everything became complicated. We both knew it. There was no pretending anymore. No hiding behind casual conversations or friendly gestures. We had acknowledged something real, something undeniable. But reality doesn't disappear just because you admit your feelings. For a few days, we avoided each other. Not completely, but enough to feel the distance. When we did talk, it was different. Careful. Measured. Like we were both afraid of saying the wrong thing and making everything worse. But the truth was already out there, and it was only a matter of time before we had to face it. That confrontation came sooner than I expected. One evening, she showed up at my door again, but this time, she didn't look scared. She looked determined. She said she had talked to him, to Bilal, and things didn't go well. Apparently, their relationship had been struggling for a long time, and this was just the breaking point. She told him she needed space, that she wasn't sure about their future anymore. I remember feeling a mix of emotions: relief, guilt, hope, fear. Because while part of me wanted this, another part knew the weight of what it meant. This wasn't just about me and her. There was another person involved, a history, a promise. Days turned into weeks. She took time to figure things out. And I gave her that space, even though every part of me wanted to be closer to her. Eventually, she made her decision. She ended the engagement. But here's the thing, life isn't a fairy tale. Just because she was free now didn't mean everything magically fell into place. There was emotional baggage, pain, doubts. We had to rebuild everything from the ground up, not just our relationship, but ourselves. And it wasn't easy. There were moments we questioned everything, moments we wondered if we had rushed into something without fully understanding the consequences. But there were also moments, quiet, beautiful moments, where everything felt right, where being together felt natural, like it was always meant to be this way. In the end, we chose to take that risk, to see where this could go. Not because it was easy, but because it felt real. Now, looking back, I still think about that moment by the car, that whisper, that response, that single decision that changed everything. Was it right? Was it wrong? I don't have a perfect answer. All I know is that it led me to something genuine, something meaningful. So if you've made it this far, I want to ask you one last time. Do you think I did the right thing? Or should I have walked away when I had the chance? If you were on my side, go ahead and like this video. And if you enjoy stories like this, don't forget to subscribe for more. I'd really love to hear your thoughts, so share your final opinion in the comments section below. I read every single one. And until the next story, take care.